Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer, and this is a reading for the sun in Virgo. So the sun is going into Virgo on the 23rd of August and will be there until the 23rd of September. So here on the channel, we are doing an ongoing healing process, and we look at collective energy as part of our way to know where spirit is at, where the collective energy is at, right? And then seeing how we can co-create with it. So that is the purpose. It's always co-creation. And we have an overall energy of sun in Virgo with endeavor. Ooh, and you reap what you sow. Beautiful. And then we have got Treasure Island upside down. Beautiful. And we've got by the book upside down. Okay, this is very, very interesting message. Very interesting message. Okay, I'll start with this. This is kind of the context, and this is literally why I felt like I needed to explain that thing about spirit. I was kind of saying it. Why am I saying it now? I hadn't consciously intended to, but it is that part of where spirit's energy is at. Treasure Island is showing up. It's a card typically of abundance and abundance mentality, the abundance perspective, right? And then upside down, it speaks to, actually it would speak to a lack mentality in the text in the deck, but it's a protection. All the cards in this deck, when they're upside down, it's not necessarily just a block, it's a protection. There's a protection inherent to the fact that the energy isn't direct. So this is talking to the potential for abundance, but being limited at this time and as a protection for you. So during the Virgo season, there's a dynamic that's going on in the universe where spirit is going to bring through a lot of potentials. You're going to see opportunities, possibilities, where there is the potential for a great abundance to come to you. But there's the thing, there's going to be a but, there's going to be a catch. There's going to be some kind of way in which it's indirect. There's going to be something at play, but it is done as a protection. Why? Because by the book, we're going to go to there before, see, we can't even go to this, to the direct energy. We have to go to by the book, which again, upside down, protection, but by the book upside down talks about being unorthodox, following unorthodox procedures, unorthodox ways, in other words, being creative. And so when you put it all together, there's going to be the potential for amazing things, for wonderful things, but it's not going to come very directly. There's going to be some kind of limitation, some kind of block, some kind of indirect energy, some kind of delay, something in between you and the realization of that wonderful potential, but it is so that you can get to work, you can endeavor, you can engage. And through the limitation of the potential, there is going to be a great other potential for creativity. There's an avenue that opens up where you can become more creative with the potential, with what it is that you want through your own endeavor, your own engagement, your own pursuits, your own efforts, your own striving, before things come into fruition, before you can have the harvest, which is linked to the Virgo energy. And so the way that I've been experiencing this on a very low level is groceries, for example. Sometimes, because I follow my alignment. So is it aligned to go? Is it not aligned to go? I'm just in my flow. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, I really need to go to the grocery store and do some shopping. And then it's not aligned, so I don't go. And literally one day the skies open up and it just started pouring when I was about to go out. And I was like, okay, yeah, let me not do that. And so what do? I go, I open the fridge, I look at what there is at the limited offerings, right? There isn't what I would choose to have by going through the supermarket. In the supermarket, I can just take things from the shelf. I want this, I want this, I want this. I'm going to go back and I'm going to make it exactly the way that I want it to be. Here, instead, I open up, I look at what there is, and I get creative with it. And it's not maybe the same recipe, but I get creative and I find a way to make it work. And I do reap what I sow, the benefits of the effort that I put into it and the ingenuity that also arises. And it ends up being really good, but it's just good in a different way. And Spirit is saying that it's like, you know, what you need to understand at this time and in this season of your life is that what Spirit wants is your endeavor, is your pursuit, is your striving, it's your engagement with things, so that it's not just this mindless repetition on the one hand, but also just going by the books. And there's this notion, to avoid the same old, but it's also to just awaken your agency at a completely different level, so that you also can discover that you can do things that you never knew you could do with the same situations, the same circumstances. It's to open up your perspective so it's not so limited and you think that there's only this, when it can be so much greater. It can be so many different things. So let's go deeper. It can work in different ways. It can come together in different ways. Two of Wands, agency. Wow. This deck has very specific meanings, so I will grab the booklet and I will read them out to you, because I always find them being so impactful in this instance when I use and work this deck. The last one is this one that I can't see, but it should be good. So we have got our Two of Wands. We have got our, you know what, I will actually turn the cards and then I will look them over and I will read the descriptions and you can see them closer then. We have the Emperor, we have the Sun, of course, and then we've got our Star card upside down. There we go. Rearrange a little bit of things. With this upside down, yeah, there's that big redirection energy that has just been so potent throughout August and in all of the readings, and it's showing up in this reading also, that there's this kind of redirection around something that is destined, but also from your higher self energy. In doing this, in working the potentials in this way, you're calling forth more of your spiritual being, more of your higher level energy, and because you're doing that, it's going to change the paths that are available to you, and that's why it's happening. There's always that higher reason, and this in this instance, this would be it. It's like Spirit is saying, we know that you have more to you, right? You have more juice, you have more power to you, spiritual power to you, and it's being called forth in these circumstances and situations in your life at this time where there is those potentials and you want that growth and you want to reach for it, but then Spirit is setting up the kind of process of reaching for it and making it happen that is going to call forth more of your spiritual energy into being. So, that being said, reaching for the booklet of the Crystal Tarot by Elisabetta Trevisan, and we have got our Two of Wands, which says, Two of Wands says union, the concentration of one's own energies. Yeah, and concentration makes more potent, right? When something is concentrated, it is more potent, more powerful. And in this instance, it's also talking about you becoming more capable. We have got Major Arcana number 2, Science. She is the threshold between light and darkness, that which we know and ignore, that which we own and that which terrifies. She holds the unknown. Ooh, I like it. How it's all coming together. We have Major Arcana number 4, which is Stability. He is masculine love, the action through which creation is granted nourishment and growth. Upside down, right? Yeah. Not be too forceful. And I'm certainly doing a big mess while I'm doing all this, and it's part of the energy. We have got Major Arcana number 19, Happiness. He is the force which enlightens, warms, and nourishes, never disfigured by shadows or doubts. Beautiful. Wow. Oh, wow. And finally, we have Major Arcana number 17, Hope. She is the beauty of the horizon and the everlasting. Her existence recalls how many roads must still be traveled. Upside down. New roads appearing, new horizons becoming possible. I'm just going, wow, because this is such an amazing message, and this is going to be a beautiful season of life if you can have the right attitude towards it. If you have an attitude where just like, oh my God, I just wish I would get there already. I just wish it would give itself already. I just, if you have an energy of pushing against this, then it can be a very difficult time. And I feel like this is why Spirit is talking to you about this and in this way. So we're going to start with these two. And this is Spirit saying, listen, this is a time with the Two of Wands of you marshaling your energies. Again, that agency, right? It's a time to think that I know what to do. I'm capable. I can handle it. And especially when there are things that are unknown. And this is very important to realize, because whenever we're trying to develop a potential, whenever we're trying to make things happen, and especially when we cannot see, there's a block, there's a limitation, there's a delay, We don't always understand why. The high priestess is that higher wisdom and the higher knowledge that we can apply. But there's a message that's coming through that it's very much about, yeah, I'm hearing, I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone, but I'm hearing like planes flying over, and I'm recording this earlier than I usually do. So normally there aren't those noises when I'm recording, and it's a challenge, right, in this instance, but it's about marshaling it, talking through it, moving beyond it. There's an unknown. I'm doing it at a different time than I usually record, so I didn't know that that would be a factor. But in meeting those unknowns, there's at this time a deeper underlying reason. The high priestess is showing up to say that the unknowns, the delays, the challenges, the stresses, the things that are getting in the way, they're not there for no reason. Sometimes they are, or sometimes it's because it's the wrong thing, or so on and so forth. But here they are because you are intended to develop your agency in the face of the unknown, much like one would sharpen a knife or sharpen a sword before going into battle. You're sharpening, you're developing, you're strengthening your agency in the face of these unknown conditions, but within a very specific set of situations and circumstances. So within the scheme of things that have that higher energy to them, right? So again, it's not about fighting for things that are just never going to happen. They're never going to work. This is in spaces, in situations, in circumstances, in dynamics where a great deal of abundance is promised. It's there. The potential is there. It's beautiful. It's amazing. You want it. And in those dynamics, that higher knowledge applies. So there is also a message here about being discerning about the situation and circumstance where you meet that energy, right? It's not about fruitlessly pursuing something that is fundamentally not going to work, is not aligned. That's not wisdom. That's not real agency. And that's not the agency that Spirit wants to develop. So there's also a message of discrimination with regards to, what you're pursuing. And so in this energy, the major arcana before the Emperor is coming to say that, of course, there will be things where it doesn't work. There will be things where you're going to find this energy at play, and it's going to tell you to end it. It's going to tell you to close the door. So that, it was talking about how this is the force that brings things into being upside down. It is a force that comes through to end things. Masculine energy is how we set boundaries. It's how we end things. It's how we become very decisive. And that's this kind of energy. And it's coming through at the level of major arcana because it's talking about your soul. There are things that your soul, your energy, your higher level being, subconsciously, because it's major arcana energy, it just won't want to do. It won't want to pursue, and it's gonna come through, and it's gonna bring that ending energy and that ending dynamic. And so there's discrimination. You reap what you sow. And Spirit wants you to know that part of sharpening your agency, there are two sides to this. And part of it is to sharpen your ability to close doors. As much as you're opening doors at this time with abundance, there's also going to be a great deal of potential that you can have access to by closing certain doors. And that's also going to be part of the wisdom. Part of the way in which you're going to reach for certain things is to push other things out of the way so you can really get to them. And in this energy, and with this energy also by the book, you won't get access if you don't follow the steps, if things aren't in place, if things aren't how they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to work. Now, when things are aligned, you're pursuing the right things for the right reasons in the right ways, the energy lines up, then you have this promise of the sun, which has shown up in I don't know how many of the monthly readings at this point. It showed up in the full moon readings, also in different decks, but this is it. This is the happiness. And what really struck me when I was reading the text was the notion of how it casts no shadow. There aren't going to be any dysfunctions. There are not going to be any problems. So you're being prepared to co-create that kind of happiness, meaning that when you get the abundance, when you get the potential, and when you realize it, this higher agency is going to be part of the reason why you're going to be able to live that kind of happiness without seeing any downsides or not experiencing the downsides as strongly as you would otherwise. So, for example, one example could be if you go through a process, you develop this agency, you're developing your own self, you're having personal growth. Let's say, for example, you become more patient. Then all of a sudden, if you become a parent, then as a patient parent, if your kids are yelling or they're not listening or they're doing A, B, C, or D, it's not going to bother you as much. And you're not going to be one of those parents who are on YouTube or on social media talking about how much they hate parenting, right? It's not going to be you. It's not going to be part of your happiness. Your happiness is going to be more intact. It's going to be more protected by your capacity, your developed agency to participate in it and to co-create it in a different way and at a higher level. And so this energy is very much about also, getting you up to the level of the happiness that you're co-creating and that you're bringing in. And fundamentally, again, because you're developing this agency, new horizons are going to follow. New horizons are going to come in, new potentials. And this is Major Arcana number 17, the star. And it does talk about destiny and destined paths. And I do feel like this is a matter of hidden destiny, because Spirit knows that you're destined for this. Spirit knows that you're heading towards it. Spirit knows exactly what this great happiness that you're co-creating is going to look like, what it's going to be made up of, what it's going to require. And so you don't know, and that's what it's speaking to. It's not that it's like a new destiny that comes into being. It's just upside down. It's hidden from you. You don't see it, and you don't even see the full abundance of it. But Spirit does, and Spirit does know. So therefore Spirit is preparing you for it, and you will have the reveal of it once you get there. Once you're in this happiness and you're experiencing it, you're going to go like, oh, thank God I learned that. Thank God I became able to do this, to stand that, to choose this, to go with that, and so on and so forth. There's a big energy of a harvest that is, there's a sun energy again, that is whole and that is protected, and it's protected from your own ability to be able to manage it so much better, so that you would never resist it, you would never reject it, you would never diminish it, you would never abandon it, because it's going to fit you so much more. You just need a little bit of growth to get there, and Spirit is going to be co-creating that with you in Virgo season this month, and perhaps beyond. Perhaps beyond. But definitely these steps, this part of the curriculum is unfolding in Virgo season. So my love, those were the messages that I have for you here and now. I hope that this reading served you. I hope that you're well. I am sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best, and I will be seeing you around. May you be blessed always and in all ways, and so it is. Bye.